Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing a very interesting list that I found by a player. Where is it at? Here. This is the 4-color Reanimator deck. As you can see, they were in Mythic and they were playing very well with it. They are 63 and 30 with it, which is a very good win rate on the play, over 70%, which is what we talked about with Skeletons, and it's 64% win rate on the draw. For a decent chunk of games, about 100 games, which is nice. They're at 93. So even if they lost the rest, their win rate would still be good. And you can see against one of the better winning decks in the meta, Mono White, they're 11 and 3 against. That is a horrific matchup against Mono Black, apparently. But with that, we are going to be playing this deck and just running it down. Interesting cards in here is Over the Edge. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. For 2, it is sorcery. Target creature you control explores twice. So a card like this would be nice to target with that. But also playing Commune with Nature, 1 mana. Look at top 5 cards of your library, reveal a creature card from among them, put it in your hand, and the rest on the bottom. So it's not necessarily going to mill you a ton, but it's still a nice piece to connect the bridge along the way. And then we have Cash Grab and Dredger's Insight, just really good mill pieces, and the rest is just to enact our plan until we can do the 1-2 punch with kind of this synergy right here and using Arden as a really strong backup plan. So with that, we're going to go into the games. I will say I do have a longer outro, which will seem absurd based on the time, but we do talk about a lot of the spoilers that came out today, kind of just going card by card and just reading them and just giving very vague kind of thoughts on it, like whether I think it's good or bad or playable or not playable, more into a commander card, or maybe it's like playable in another format or something like that. With that said, let's go ahead and game. I get to go first. We'll keep. And it's got a curve to it. Just take the second one, or do I just take this? I'll probably just take a second one for backup, right? Does get revealed. Maybe I should have grabbed the other one. Who knows? We'll see. What is my opponent going to do? Sure. The mirror, maybe? Yeah. Dude, listen. You're going to watch me play this deck all day, and you're not going to watch me do this once. It's going to be crazy. Thought about playing this, but I think I'm going for Cash Grab instead. It just does more. It's just crazy that my opponent is just way better than me. Left one of the cards on top. Really just looking for a land here. We already have a starting town, so I'm going to just take the basic. Another bringer in hand, which kind of makes me want to do this. I don't really have anything all that impressive that I want to bring back. Just supposed to be Cash Grab again? Or do I just go for bigger right now? Also, I can chump block the creature in play. The action, nice. Rid of a bringer. I could get strategic betrayal, I guess. Could be bad, but thankfully next turn I have 8 cards to put in the graveyard. Our opponent's way behind when it comes to it. Difference of being on the play and draw pretty drastically being shown here. Just one player gets to put a ton of cards in their graveyard first, and it's just like who can keep up kind of thing. 2 bringers. 3 Esper Origins. Okay. Fair enough. There's an Arden, which we'll discard on the end step here. We'll most likely take their bringer if we do it, because I can do any. Honestly, a little part of me just wants to reanimate this instead. Let's go Cash Grab here. Alright, well, we hit the ideal card. Fine. Here. Fine. Yes. I think I'll just end up going Arden, I believe. Actually, I guess if it resolves, I just win because I have a Terror of the Peaks, right? So unless they put enough in there to deal 15, I'm just not worried. They go Origin here. No Terror of the Peaks. We just win. And a little. Do whatever. Just won't matter now. Obviously, you could think we go Arden, but this will end up just winning on the spot. I'll take yours. Why not? That should do it. That should do it. Well, we don't have a lot of mill options here. But we have the mana and a cavern, so it feels like we're supposed to keep. Obviously, I could be wrong on that assessment, but I mean, that's a pretty good card to find. Allows us to start enabling some stuff, maybe find the Overlord and whatnot. It's kind of why we cap, because this could have found the Overlord as well. The Mirror? Again? Or is that the only thing people are playing? That's a Valgavoth. That does indeed do stuff. The action. A Terror of the Peaks. Valgavoth can definitely get us, but Terror of the Peaks ×2 should be fine. And our opponent will reanimate stuff, so it's a bit weird. We'll see. Honestly, if I get to that point, I'm going to take their Valgavoth. I have 2 of these, so it's not like we're not in the running to do it. Okay. We'll grab a land. Yeah. Dude, what is happening here? River Regent is actually kind of bad. That's a little tough. Kind of just want to take their Valgavoth so they don't have access to it, but I kind of have 2 Terror of the Peaks in my graveyard, so if a Bringer shows up, obviously we have all the damage in the world, but it's just whether or not we get there. Am I supposed to wait a turn? Am I not supposed to wait a turn? Am I supposed to Dredgers? Am I not supposed to Dredgers? But even if I don't wait, then like, what do I do? I do think bring back Valgavoth's good though. Or maybe I just bring back the River Regent, but that just also seems weird. I'm going to Valgavoth play, clearly. This. Because it's also permanently exiled out of there. Go okay. Obviously, if they bring back my Bringer to swap this, they do run into a little bit of issues that there will be 3 Terror of the Peaks that enter the battlefield. And then also Bringer will still enter because it works the same whether it's in your graveyard or your opponent's. So it's a bit awkward. Awaken, sure. What are we targeting here? Yeah, sure. Oh, me. Then the Terror should be enough. Well, actually, I get to do 4 Terror of the Peaks here. Do human. Go here. I bring back Bringer. I bring back 4 Terror of the Peaks. And we just do literally everything we ever wanted. Oh, on the plane, I'm going to put a ton of cards in my yard, so why not? We don't have blue. I mean, I guess we have blue, but we don't have, like, non-painful blue, but I don't know if that necessarily matters. Well, I should have played a starting down. I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't matter. They all end up entering tapped anyway. Or one of them will end up entering tapped anyway, I guess is what I wanted to say. Pretty bad mill to start off with there. Artist talent, me and my opponent are both on just like the throwing haymakers plan, it seems. We'll see who ends up kind of coming out on this. I could blow this up, but I think I'm just on just keep it going right now. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Fine, I guess. We're probably going to have to blow it up next turn. Honestly, if we rip an untapped source, that'd be pretty sweet. This artifact or enchantment? It is. So we leave artist talent. We blow up Monument of Endurance. We get to do a loot here. Maybe draw an extra card. Everybody's favorite hero. I love blue-red. I am playing another one of the menaces in the format, so I can't, like, be, like, that downtrodden about it. Obviously, I would love to just play this guy, do our thing, but I mean, how do I lose off that, right? At least it makes it a lot harder, and Harvester also just answers Grand. Yeah, let's go for it. Black him for 5. Obviously, well, they only have 1, so this isn't even technically answerable right as of this moment. Their lesson cards are a bit lackluster. Obviously, they could end up clearing my whole board, and then we do this here. Although I feel like I want to blow this up because this is like the big enabler of it. Sure. Okay. Yeah. What it is. As long as this game goes, obviously we set ourselves up for a big one-punch potential. But we obviously got to get there to that. We want to exile this. They don't. They get rid of the wrong card. Why would you get rid of this one? I mean, I guess they could have always drawn this, right? So, a bit weird. We can let them loot all day. We really care about this, right? Because that's what's drawing extra cards, making treasures, doing damage to us. And the longer the game goes, obviously the better off we'll be. But I think it is just blow up the monument here. Okay. It was like a random time to just time out. It auto chooses for him? That's a little whack. But go here. I should have blew this up first, I guess. If they're not here, I don't know. Feels like a weird time to time out, though. All my overlords are taking down every turn, which is nice. But I don't know. But the deck that's it's weird because it's like not the I don't know. I actually don't know what the best deck in the meta is currently. But I'm gonna stop talking and we'll move on. See if they decide that playing with us is fun enough. I don't know. Yep. Cool, man. I mean, to be fair, timing out took less than what their average turn would be, so not this player for that reason. I'm just saying, like, in general, their turns take forever because all the triggers and stuff that happen. So, honestly, that game went much faster than if we just normally played it. Get rid of one of the lands just because we were playing, like, Cash Grab and stuff like that to find another one. But it definitely has the chance to get ran over. Ooh. Not good. That is not good. We'll see if we end up having an early exit here. I'm a Badger Mole Cub deck, dude. What else would I be? Oh. Last stock. Enough. Do I take the... I think I just take this. I have a bringer in my hand, so I definitely want to get them out of the way. Blue, white. Best part here is we can name human. It's nice. This could get blown up. But what? I guess. I just don't want to put this out there for a demo field to hit it. Not my creature. Eh, just have to listen to me, bro. I don't know. Like, you obviously don't. I'm just saying. It has to be a 3 steps ahead counter. Or it could be a normalized counter, I guess. We haven't shown the cavern, so our opponent doesn't really know of the cavern. We're probably not going to play it until we're ready to do this, which means we need to get to an end step here. Ew. Nice. Now, obviously, I could put this bringer in the graveyard and it can rest in peace me, and then the game's just over, but we'll see. Harvester, Harvester, Terror, Bringer. It's pretty close. Okay. Wait a turn to not wait a turn. That's a 2/3. Not bad. Here. The reason we're putting that in the, I know that's really weird to put that in the graveyard, but the reason we're putting that in the graveyard is so it can copy Terror the Peaks and end the game. Is the whole reason. They could have a flanker and we're screwed regardless, right? So, which is what I think they have, to be honest. We're going to be very meticulous on what we reanimate and what we don't. Overlord weirdly seems like the best option, but Kiora can cause them to do something here. In case they play like a Phantom Interference or something. Then we're just going to kind of keep our stuff here. Again, I do think they have a flanker. It's kind of why I'm playing it a bit differently. Discard 2. It'll be here. And I guess it's just Terror, right? Like, what else it would be? Kind of keeping this stuff around for later. We can decline for now. Our hand's pretty solid. I don't really want much else. Yep, there's the flanker. So we kind of got a little what we're talking about, where I'll just have a bringer. Or a Arden, maybe. This is turned off. Which is obviously tough, but it just is what it is. Not a whole lot we can do about it. Demon, Arden would be good. Our creatures are just fine here. We do get to attack kind of through this a bit. Then worst case, they block with the flanker, and then Arden can just get them anyway. Sure, attack, dude. I would hate that for me. I bet. They have another one, do we think? World may never know. World may never know. Action. It's a good card to slam down. Salt, sure. Thing here is we do need to get an Arden in there at some point. Maybe we could have got rid of there, but also I was hoping to maybe hit a land. Obviously we couldn't play it there, but I can play it next turn and then go for just like human on my cavern, play an Arden, and then have it do some stuff. But my opponent does have to like answer this board at some point. You know, it's just kind of one of those. Here. Nice. Gonna come up anyway, so I don't really have to do much more. Kind of a long-winded way to try to win this game. The way they played everything, not countering anything and doing stuff like that. Okay, we saw how many lands and then that? That's kind of crazy. Grab Kiora back out. Then I can just play her. At some point, you got to think that there's going to be a non-land there. I'm already out of creatures. That finally comes through, so maybe they don't have any graveyard hate now. Definitely kind of feels that way. Yeah. The get lost here even. Oh, wow. Okay. Just play one of those. Maybe it's an ultimate here. All right. Okay. $22. All right. Well, combat. This. Here. Oh, I could have just played a cavern and gone for it, right? Go. I punted that. Either way, I think we decline on these. Again, even a flanker, once again, doesn't necessarily get there because the Arden can then bring back their flanker and that'll be enough to win. So it's a bit of a weird one, but we'll see if they have one. I should have played Cavern and gone for it. I just, for whatever reason, I thought I only had 3 mana after that turn. One of the things of, like, not looking, I guess. Sure. And they have to have a flanker now, right? I just play the Cavern and jam? The jam session time? Probably, right? Resolves. I would say if this resolves, we win, I think. Grab the bringer, we have the tear, and they instantly explode to it. Alright, pretty land heavy, obviously, but I think with cash grab, I'm okay with keeping here. Play here, go here and here. Maybe my brain won't mess that up. Definitely done it in the past. Versus just play this. I think it's actually just play this. Some of our value moving. Rid of the starting town. Keep a harvester in case they're like a life gain deck where this is good. Airbender, okay. Sure. Alright, we ripped another starting town like we knew we would. We have a land on 4 that'll come in untapped anyway, so let's go Kiora. Alright, sick. Harvester, starting town. We get punished for being like really greedy by discarding our lands to later stuff, but black, white, it feels like we're going to be against a lot of graveyard potential hate here. Or bounce? Just ores off bounce. I don't think I would have prepped myself for that. So here comes in. We know human. Play human. Deactivate human. Yep. Alright, one of you can go. Don't need all that many of you, that's for sure. Momentum break can happen. We can go cash grab here and go that route. Again, obviously I am worried about like rest in peace. I'm worried about what's the card? There's a card I am a little concerned for. Do you miss a land here though? Like I do. There's Terror and there's Arden, so we just decline on all that. And we have a second one of those, so we just am a cavern, name human ×2, just in case. Go here. Bring back an Arden. Arden triggers. Move. Harvester answers their creature, but I think I just play Harvester? Just to play Terror. I think I want to bring back Harvester, actually. We just get their creature off the board, and then Terror is just in there for the bringer stuff later. In. Grab a bringer. If they somehow blow up our board and then momentum break us, we can discard the bringer and then reanimate it. Sure. I mean, I know what I'm just getting rid of. Move it forward, I guess. Yora. Her ability is going to be enough. Attack. Now makes an 8/8. Probably could have been Kiora the turn before, but I felt like just getting their creature off the board was good. They couldn't really do a ton of blocking or other shenanigans later. Or something where it's like, equip a Shelter by Ghost, answer your Arden, things like that. It's just weird. They have no creatures. They also missed a couple land drops, probably sitting on the white creature that if they play 2 spells, they get to do something. Or maybe even needing like double black here, and their mana kind of costed them a bit, so who really knows, but we'll take it. All right, so here we are with the list after playing it and all that, and honestly I did like it a lot. I know obviously the town greeter not being in here is kind of a concern off the rip, but I did like the instant speed on their turn, and then I do like the over the edge stuff and dredgers. I really do enjoy dredgers most of the time against kind of the aggro decks right now that are pinging you for drawing a card. It is nice to have a dredger's insight. You are able to keep kind of gaining a little bit of that life back, but having over the edge is also cool because if you get a small creature like this, it's just nice to be like double explore here. Or, you know, if it's not that, then we just blow up an enchantment or artifact and it's just all good from there. Other than that, the rest of this is kind of cool and works pretty similar to what it's been doing. But I think where this deck is going to really pop off is getting to play the elementals in this deck from the new set. And that's kind of what I want to do now, is talk about some of the spoilers. I'm not really going to make a whole dedicated video on it, at least right now. It takes so much work to do, and trying to do it all by myself is a little bit tough. So I will say, warning, as you can see by my face, I don't know if the site can do it or not, but this is, if you're watching in the dark, be ready to get flashbang, that's for sure. So yeah, it's bright white, ready to go. You know, like a little look at my face, dude. It's so bright. But here are some of the spoilers. I think I'm zoomed in. Yeah, I'm zoomed in a little bit, but I'm going to do that again so we can kind of see them. The pictures will be obviously a little bit blurry, as these aren't screen rips. They're just kind of post. But can I go into... Let's just do regular cards for now. See, there's a couple I was interested in. I haven't seen this one, which seemed really cool. Having a hybrid, a 3 for a 2/3. She spoils the book before you read it. Bro, why? That's messed up. This is look the tomes. Sure. Whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, you may pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card. That's pretty good, honestly. A little weak for like standard play because a 2/3 on a 3 mana creature with flying is a little vulnerable, and then you also have to rely on casting stuff. But I do want to remind everybody there are fairy cards that are still legal from a previous set that are going to be very, very, very annoying. I want to try to find them, but we'll bring them up. Maybe I'll put them in post. But a very interesting card is also coming to standard, which also means it's going into Pioneer. That is Bloom Tender. This is a monstrous card for commander players and other formats. But for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. It's a 2 mana 1/1. But with cards like Badger Mole and stuff like that, this card will have a little bit of a struggle in the format, not really having haste or anything like that. And honestly, those decks just being so strong in the mono green thing that Bloom Tender is probably not going to be played all too much in standard. It's just kind of an exciting reprint to get your hands on as well. But it also seems like elves are going to be a big part. We have a lot of elf cards. This one right here, gaining them life for creatures entering, has Death Touch. It just works really well. Whenever this creature enters or dies, you surveil one. Probably not the greatest elf. I meant to look at this one. Flash, Convoke. When the creature enters, choose a creature type. Other permanents you control that gain hexproof and indestructible until end turn. So that's really nice for the go wide board. And you can Convoke, so those creatures that make extra elves that can't quite attack right away, you got now a Lord in your colors that are really nice to defend yourself with. But there's a couple of other cards I really wanted to get to. This is kind of cool. 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Instant speed for 2 for red. That's pretty good. But Convoke over here. This card may be playable, may not be playable. I reside on non-playable. Wait, we're getting to some of the rares and mythics now, it seems. I don't know exactly how this is split up. I think it's just based on like when it was posted. When this creature enters, each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities, becomes a coward in addition to its other types, and has base power and toughness of 1/1. That is really cool because there are definitely effects like, obviously this is a bit expensive, but can you imagine playing this in the deck we were just playing, and then you hit them just real quick to show, and then you have a harvester, right? So their opponents... Our opponent's creatures lose everything, and then Harvester wipes that board. That's just so good. But with that, we also have this Champion of the Weird. I thought this card was cool. As additional cost, cast a spell, behold a goblin and exile it. Exile a goblin you control or a goblin card from your hand. Pay 1 life, blight 2, target opponent blights 2. Activate only as a sorcery. So that means blight 2 means you... I believe you have to put -2 counters on your creatures, and then target opponent blights 2 means they have to put 2 minus counters on creatures they control. Whenever a creature leaves the battlefield, return exile cards to its under hand. Flash and additional costs to cast a spell. Behold a Kurthkin Knight and exile it? Sure. Others get +1. This creature leaves, return them to your hand. I don't know how many of these are going to be in this set or how many of this creature type there are, to be honest, but some basics are pretty cool. This is a card I haven't seen yet. At the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. For each of those colors, you may exile a card from that color from among the reveal cards and shuffle. You pass the exile cards this turn. You don't get to cast them for free, which is obviously good, but this is probably not playable. In standard, Lava Leaper, probably not playable. I know with this one, all creatures have haste. Whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, you add 2, so that's counting your opponent as well. That's too much value for your opponent whenever you have to play this and then pass. Players can't draw cards or gain life. At the beginning of each player's draw step, they lose 3 life and then searches for a card instead, so every player's tutoring. Do you really have to be doing bonkers stuff to be playing this? Definitely probably not going to be submitting that. Another target creature you control gains fly and lifelink until end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, exile card from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. And if the spell's mana value is less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn, otherwise put it in your hand. Okay, so if we gain a lot of life and then activate it, or at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn. Oh, that's actually sick. That's kind of crazy. So... this is a really cool, like, commander card. I know I'm going to bring up commander a lot, but let's be honest. Random legendaries is just cool as commanders. But life gain deck, play this. Basically kind of cascade, which is sweet. This card I read earlier, Abigail, is really nice. Flying, first strike, lifelink. It is only a 1/1, but it is hybrid, so it's pretty easy to cast. Whenever it enters, up to 1 other target creature loses all abilities. Put a flying counter on it, a first strike counter on it, and a lifelink counter on that creature. Honestly, the first card that came to my mind is a card like Cecil, where it's just a really nice 2/3 death touching body, where oftentimes it can hurt you, but you play this on 2. Cecil just becomes a 1 mana flying 2/3 that has flying, first strike, and lifelink, and it's just really cool. So you can either do it if you want to or not. It's up to you, obviously. Big attack is sweet if there's power or tough with total power or toughness 5. I actually read that wrong earlier. Then you pay 2, you put it directly on the battlefield, gains haste, sacrifice it, kind of whatever on that. Then we get to some weird ones. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery spells from your hand, exile cards, dream counter on it. Not that interested in that. There's a couple of cards I really want to get to instead of kind of reading all these. I know we're doing this as a bit of a at the end here. This card's cool. Blight 1, Surveil 1, put a -1/1 on something you control. Blight 2, exile target card from a graveyard, so -2 counters on something. During your turn, you may cast creature spells from among cards you own exiled with this creature by removing 3 counters from among creatures you control in addition to other of its cost. So it does allow you to take the negative counters off of itself, but it's obviously a bit risky. This is a green card, pretty large. I haven't read it. When this creature enters, reveal cards X permanent, where X is the number of colors from a permanent. Put any number of those permanent cards onto the battlefield, and then put the rest. Okay. Reveal cards from. Okay, so when this enters, you just reveal X cards, and then you can just put them onto the battlefield. Nice. But some of the cards that are cool to get into is like Vibrance is a really, really, really decent card. 5 mana, 4/4 elemental. It has evoke on it, so when you play it for its evoke cost, you have to sacrifice it immediately. When this creature enters, if green was spent to cast it, search your library for any land, gain 2 life. That land does go to your hand. Or if red was spent to cast it, deals 3 damage to any target. So worst case scenario, it's a lightning helix on a creature, or not a lightning helix, but a lightning bolt or lightning strike on a creature. If not, it's 2 mana, go get a land and put it in your hand. But scrolling down here, we're getting to a creature that I'm very concerned about, but we'll go left to right here just to real quick. Untap on the Merfolk, as long as probably weirdly playable, but blue-white seems weird. Remember, creature transforms, mill 3 cards. I don't know how many things we have to transform. Additional cast this, behold an elf, and exile it. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. 4 mana, 6/6, by the way. It's kind of nice. And when you cast a creature, you draw a card. So exiling an elf from a hand doesn't seem like that big of a deal. When this creature leaves, you put them back in your hand too. So this is not bad at all, actually. But Hexing Squelcher is a card that I read that I am a little less than happy about. This card cannot be countered. Has ward pay to life. Spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have ward pay to life. This just mono red, which we just played, was sitting like here, and it just went here with that. Like, it's just so much better now. This card is going to be very, very good. The ward pay to life is going to suck, and having cards like, even if it's not red, but playing like red black, making like my becomes 4 damage to remove, right? Because my says if you cast a non-creature spell, you take 2, and then it has ward pay to life, and then this is still on the battlefield. And it's not legendary, by the way. So if you play 2, it becomes ward pay 4 life. It's just wild card. Wild card. Absurd. But this is a cool card as well. Glenn's answer can't be countered. Counter all spells your opponent control and all abilities your opponent control. Create a 1/1 blue and black fairy token. Somebody's playing Fallout 76. Fallout Walmart pack. Nice. Create a 1/1 fairy token flying for each thing that was countered this way, which is cool. Some of these are nice. Flash gains persist until a turn. That's pretty good, actually. Wait, this card's really good. When enters another target creature control, gains persist. Card's good. Protection, sorta. If you have a creature that has a good ETB, it's even better. This card's okay. But I wanted to talk about some of these before we really got that far. I do think I might make kind of an overarching video about it. Some of these are been spoiled for a while. We're getting the other shocks, and I love the art on these shocks. I think they're so sweet. And then here's some of the other elementals down here. They're going to be good. And Bitter Blossom Bear. I do think blue-black's going to have a good opportunity. I think blue-black of this deck will just be good as well because this card's so nice. Black spent to cast it, reveals their hand, choose a non-land card from it, they discard it. Blue spent to cast it, you take it like you bounce a permanent, right, for 2, and then you just get a 5/5 in there. It's just kind of the same plot for us that something like a Harvester is. We can look at their hand, make them discard it. It would slot over here, and it's just a nice 5/5 that when it enters, it won't do anything, unfortunately, because you're not spending mana to cast it, but, you know, it's just a good connecting piece overall. With all that, I hope you all enjoyed. And if you want to see a longer breakdown of the maybe like the top 10 cards I think are coming, I think that would be something I could probably do instead of kind of covering the whole set. But I did want to kind of like scour through it. If maybe you haven't looked at them quite yet, we can kind of do it along. If there's any card you're interested in, please let me know in the comments. I would be glad to know what card's going to ruin my day eventually. But with that said, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.